Now, despite being a creative thinker, Paris was often being held back by difficulty organising her thoughts into the right words to logically express herself during assessment tasks such as essays. She'd often get stuck not knowing where to make a start on assignments and procrastinate with her homework, leaving it to the last minute, which would leave her feeling frustrated, demotivated and scoring poorly in all areas of literacy during the first 4 years of high school. So when Paris's mum contacted us here at Top of the Class to let us know what had been going on, we recommended a specialist trained tutor called Gabby, who went in and used a strategy called the timeline staircase effect, a strategy that I train all of our tutors how to use that facilitates a student's motivation and drives their confidence using much more momentum than conventional methods. Now, this helped Paris build her confidence and motivation by learning how to structure a workload and tackle her assignments without procrastinating. And as a result, this strategy not only saw Paris climb to the top of her class, but most impressively, it changed the way that she saw her own abilities and her future potential, which I think you'll find quite inspiring. So without any further ado, this is Paris's story.
Started year 11. I was in a lower class in year 7 to 10, so I was having a bit of trouble handling the amount of work, especially in English. Then I was just having a hard time and distress, so Mum said, why don't we get you a tutor? Yeah. And then I sent Mum some websites, and she sent me one, and it was Gabby. And then we looked at it, and then we got a tutor.
I really liked Gabby's profile. She came across as a very nice, soft person and also a very qualified person, and also someone that I would actually like my daughter to, have all those little things underneath her name too when she's Gabby's age. It's a role model as well, and I thought great age, and she looked very nice and clean cut too, do you know what I mean? So yeah. And I showed Chris, that's Paris's father, and we both agreed and we went from there.
So the first thing I did, I'd already spoke to Natty on the phone, and she told me the main thing she was struggling with was essay writing. And Paris had ready for me past essays that I could look at, and a creative story as well that I could have a look at. And I worked through that originally, and I could see immediately the areas where she was strong and the areas I was weak. Like her creative writing is fantastic, but in her essays I could see that she was struggling with things like timing and mainly her language, sophistication of language. I could see that straight away.
My teachers, they help, but to an extent, and you could
Paris will always have questions to ask.
I think that's the best thing about the tutoring, though, is because it's one-on-one. You always knew that you had that hour with me, where any questions you had about English, you were like, okay, Gabby's coming then, I can ask her then, we can talk about it. It just gave you that structure that you needed to be able to manage the workload.
And I started writing questions in my diary to bring and then things to ask my teacher.
Yeah, so I like the timeline staircase thing, so I did that with Paris. We looked at everything that I had done that lesson, thought, okay, we need to work on this a bit more. That was really, really good, that was a big strength, okay, and then it just allowed me to evaluate and think, okay, this is what we'll work on next lesson. Short answer questions and essays are what we focused on, because Paris was always quite slow with timing. And timing is a key thing, and now you have come on leaps and bounds. And that we did a past one last week, and she was beating the time. I was setting 3 minutes for this, and she was 2.5 minutes, and she had it done. It's been incredible.
Before, when I didn't have a tutor, I went to write my essays. Kind of just didn't know where to start, if that makes sense. I'd go to write it, and I'm kind of sitting there looking at the computer screen, I don't know where to start. So then I'd leave it to the last minute. But now I'm getting it done a month before, so then I have time to practice, and we have time to go over it, and I can edit it. That's probably the best part, the fact that I don't have to. I'm not so on the last minute. I have it done, and so I'm stress free. And
actually a little bit more frantic when it came to doing her homework, as where now you don't even notice she's even doing her homework.
She's getting 50s and 60s in year 10, year 9, around then.
Yep.
And my last exam I got 97%. And I also got 100% on one of my exams last year, but throughout I stayed between 70s and 80s most of the time.
Yep.
So they've improved. I'm coming first in standard so far in year 12.
Yes.
Which is really exciting, because that was my aim, definitely.
Yeah, it was. We always wanted you to be at the very top of standard.
And I didn't before I got my tutor, I was coming, I was really, halfway through towards the bottom, and I didn't think, but now I know I'm going to come further.
Yeah.
It's the hope.
Top of the class.
I was planning on dropping out at the end of year 10, because that's what my friend was doing. Oh yeah.
I didn't know about that.
No,
but what did you say the other day when someone asked you what you were going to...
I think I wanted to be a photographer.
And so how's that changed now?
I think I want to do something like a higher level education. Like I definitely want to go to university now. It's a big goal for me. And I'm even thinking about becoming a teacher, but later on in my life.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can actually do that. And I didn't think I could do that, so maybe I can actually do this. You know, yeah. So definitely get a tutor. It's definitely helped my daughter with her structure of everything, like school, even social, I believe, because it's taught her to get everything into order. And I highly recommend it, especially for anyone that's, you know, if their child has got any prospects in their life and wants to go anywhere. Definitely get a tutor, yeah.
It's definitely helped me a lot. I would say a lot, like it's helped me quite a bit through the past year. And I think it will help me a lot next year as well. Just take the stress off, kind of. It will help me manage everything.
I'm gonna have Gabby tutoring Paris all the way through school if I can. When you see your child failing in certain areas, you want them to do the best. So of course you're gonna go and make their life better. You know. Yeah.
I would definitely recommend it. I know how hard it is in the classroom to be able to give each student the individual attention that they need. You can't pay attention to everyone's strengths and weaknesses, whereas with tutoring you can tailor every single lesson to what they need to work on, focus on all of their strengths and weaknesses in a much more personalised setting.
The only other way I could really express it is by getting up and going, woohoo!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, especially when she brings she's not too scared to bring home her reports now, are you? Put it that way, hey. She's like, hey, you got to take me out for dinner tonight.
Now, the struggles that Paris was facing with her motivation, her organisational skills and her expressive communication skills are so common among students of all ages and can end up making or breaking the direction that they go later on in life. But I think the most inspiring change to see was Paris's confidence in her own abilities, previously thinking about dropping out of school, and now for the first time in her life realising she's capable of going to university and doing things that she never previously realised she was able to do. Now, very similar struggles are experienced by girls and boys in both high school and primary school. So while I was down in the Shire, I dropped in to visit Monty and his family. Now, Monty's parents had come to us when he was in year 5, a shy boy, again, bright but not really able to communicate or express himself in a logical manner. And as a result, Monty was lacking in confidence big time. His parents knew that he was more intelligent than what he was showing, but couldn't seem to really get through to him on a level that was able to get him to demonstrate his full potential. So join me in the next video down below as I dropped in on Monty and his family on the day he just received his end of year report card at the end of year 6 to see how he went. See you in the next video.